2,000 gold in the bank could be a blink dagger that she's working on. And the Dire know about an observer ward just placed by the Radiant at that bottom rune spot. I don't think they can go and deward it now. There's too much Radiant presence there at the mid lane. But it creates space for the Phantom Assassin to do whatever she likes up in the top lane. The Dire haven't really been worried about their Phantom Assassin at all, and rightly they shouldn't be, because there's really no harm coming to her at the moment. And her farm is relatively unobstructed at this point, 18 minutes into the game. Staying on a Battle Fury, and probably working on her way towards a Helmut Dominator. TP's to the bottom lane, ready to give her team some help. Blink in by the Tidehunter, Ravage right onto the Drow Ranger. And the PA is still there. I can't see her on the map for some reason. And the Viper Strike on the PA will not really do as much as he would like, as Tomger uses the mechanism, and the finger comes out on Dazzle, which will kill him off. The Viper goes down to the Tidehunter, and Rubik denies himself to a neutral creep, and PA will just get mad at them and kill them. So that is a 4-for-0 exchange in favor of, again, the Dire. Now have 12 kills over 2 at this point, and this is quickly coming into, or turning into a an extremely difficult killing spree to overcome for the Radiant. Something like that. I could have used less eloquent terms if I wanted, but I decided not to.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So it's a 5-man gank on this bottom tier 1 tower by the Dire, and the last hit is taken by Phantom Assassin, Gary Gaz with that last hit. And Tidehunter blinks forward, gushes the Rubik, and the Spectral Dagger goes onto the Rubik. There is the Phantom Assassin going as aggressive as possible. There is the Phoenix Egg available, and I think they're going to focus it down. However, Gary Gaz is going down and will go down to the Rubik. Fade Bolt. However, there is a lot of death here, and the Drow Ranger will go down. Viper doing as best as he can to put damage onto the rest of the Dire heroes. Lion is going to TP out. Meanwhile, Dizzy will go down to the last hit from the Rubik. Picat's Joe is going to have just enough mana to TP out, and will indeed do it. The stun from the Rubik unavailable at this time. So that is a 3-for-3, and a lot of gold going towards the Radiant, as that comeback mechanic gives them 1,200 gold over the Dire. And lots of XP. Perhaps a little bit too aggressive from the Phantom Assassin, who has her Helmut the Dominator and will probably be wanting to work towards some survivability items. Radiant Observer Ward immediately countered by the Lion, who already had the Sentry Ward in place and now has his Blink Dagger. Not yet level 11 though. This Viper could be in the spot of trouble, as Lion is working his way up there. The Invis Rubik, however, is going to scout them out, and could set up this gank for the Radiant. Lion pauses the game, could be a tactical pause. And yeah, I'm gonna take a break. Tired. I would like to relate that this is indeed the last game of the night for us. There is one finishing up on some other channel in the... I'm just kidding, no one's casting that one. Somewhere in the cosmos of the internet, another Dota match is being played out by team... Let me check real quick. Team HCon and Londoners and a Norwegian are playing on somewhere in the cosmos of the internet universe. And it looks like we're going to be getting ready to start this game up again. Again, Rubik is scouting out the Dire and is going to head back to his team. And the Dire could be mounting an offensive on that Dire, that Radiant mid tier 1 tower. Lion places a ward at the bottom rune spot. Not going to help him as much for this fight, and in fact he is not going to be helping his team much at all here. The Dazzle Shadow Weave, I think that's what it's called, or just rather Weave, is used. And the Dire decide to back up from that one and let the PA farm these Ancients, which are right here and are stacked. There we go. That stack didn't land, of course, but it is stacked, and they're going to let Tide and PA farm it up. That camp right there. That camp. That camp. Right, so PA gets some gold from that, as does Tide, who already has a mechanism and a blink dagger. Hopefully going to start working on his next item soon, and they're going to go straight into the Roche Pit. Medallion of Courage and the Wave of Terror is going to help the Phantom Assassin do a lot of work onto this Roshan, which will be fairly easy for her. Drops the poor man's shield, is going to pick up the Aegis in return. The Weave is used from Dazzle, and the Dire decide to stick around a little bit. They might want to get out before that minus armor becomes too much, as Zeus doesn't really have a whole lot right now. He's losing it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Cerno could get caught out here by the hasted Zeus, who uses the Thunderbolt and the Veil of Discord. Phantom Assassin finishes off the Rubik, and he was caught out a little bit there. Jackets finds some creeps, and the creeps find him, and they start killing him as much as they can, which is not that much, even to a support. And now there is a 5-man offensive here for the bottom lane. The Aegis is carried by the Phantom Assassin, and the Dire getting ready to take down this tower. All the spells are available, except for the Rubik, who is dead for another couple of seconds. Phantom Assassin still getting hit by those Spirits of Fire from the Phoenix, and now getting hit by the tower. Getting a little bit of armor from the Vengeful Spirit, and in fact, tower doing virtually no damage to the Phantom Assassin. The slow siege continues on the tower, as the tower is about at 3/5 health at the moment. Viper trying to pull the creeps off the tower, and a little bit of harass going out onto the Draw Ranger by the Stifling Dagger. And here come the Dire again. They are set on getting this tower, as Phantom Assassin cleaves through the creeps. And could there be an engagement here eventually? This Tide is waiting for the Ravage, and he is still waiting. There is a good opportunity here. There is the Ravage. It is a 5-man Ravage. So much damage coming out. This Phoenix still has the egg available. It's a triple kill for Gary Gaz, and there's just so much happening there. It's hard to commentate on it, but the Phoenix gets away, puts some Fire Spirits out, In the end, it is a 4-0 wipe. That was absolutely horrendous. I mean, if you're not going to defend the tower as the Radiant, you may as well back up. You know there is a tide. And he just goes in, sees this opportunity, and gets a great 5-man Ravage. Well done by him. This Phantom Assassin sitting on 4,300, 4,400 gold now. Could work on her next item. Could be a Satanic, could be something else. As the sirens are blaring in the distance. This is indeed a massacre. 25 minutes in the game. Looks like we are going to get our first racks of the game. And it will go to the Siege Creep as Rubik steals the Anchor Smash.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Look at all those little crit daggers. Little crit daggers.
Radiant's middle
Little
tower is under attack.
Crit daggers. Anyway, the Aegis of the Immortal still held by the Phantom Assassin, and I think that the Dire could have a little bit more aggression here if they so choose and go for that mid tower, but I think they're going to back off. Tidehunter doesn't have his Ravage for another 60 seconds, so I think they're going to have one more pass at taking that Aegis off of Phantom Assassin. PCats Joe here with the Lion, as the Lion tries to get a D-Ward down. Phoenix comes through, goes around, caw, and leaves. Lion has his Blink Dagger available in 1 second, gets the last hit onto that ward, and blinks away from the Rubik, who just blinks up there to scare him off. Phantom Assassin going right for that mid tier 1 tower, getting a little bit of harass from the Viper, who is working on his Aghanim Scepter, about 600 gold from that, and Phantom Assassin will take the tower, as perhaps Viper was having a little bit of a lag issue there, and I couldn't quite get the deny off. Anchor Smash from the Tidehunter helps his team clear out those creeps and makes those creeps do a little bit less damage, as the Anchor Smash for some reason decreases your damage. Not sure how that works, but it does. I mean, to be honest, why would getting smacked with an anchor decrease your damage any more than perhaps like getting turned inside out by Lion? Like, if you got turned inside out, you wouldn't be able to damage shit, but yet you still do damage. Why doesn't Stifling Dagger decrease damage? In fact, Stifling Dagger gets stifled itself against heroes. How does that make sense? Why does Anchor Smash decrease damage? That's virtually the only reason he's picked at all. Rubik picks up a double damage rune, uses the wand, could lift somebody up in the near future, and in fact does. He's going to lift Tide. He's on a cliff! He's on a cliff! He was on a cliff! So Tide was on a cliff, and still the Rubik died. And the Tide has a Blink Dagger. Well, the Dire smoke up. They go towards that bottom lane, and Drought is doing quite a bit of damage to those creeps. Has a Sanjin Yasha at this point. Hasn't finished anything with her Morbid Mask. There's a Blink from Tide. There's the Ravage. It will hit on just the Draw Ranger, and the Dazzle is using the Shallow Grave, and there is the egg from Phoenix. The Draw Ranger goes down, and Lion trying to do the damage he can to the Phoenix egg. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough as the Lion gets swapped out. Nice swap by the bench. And the Radiant try to pursue here. The Rubik has one stun, gets used up by the Zeus. I think this Zeus could be the fall man here. In fact, he does go down to the Rubik. And the Dire are going to TP away from that one. Thoroughly scared away by the Radiant. However, there was a buyback from the Drow Ranger, negating a lot of the gold gained.